Good morning.
Good morning.
We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting?
Yes.
It moves around a bit, doesn't it? You are appreciating the evolution of your desire? Yes, the answer is yes, yes, yes. And in fact, even those unfulfilled desires are thrilling to you. We know that. Yes, yes. Yes?
Yes.
You lie, oh, you lie. But one day you will remember that that was your knowing when you came forth into these physical bodies. You were not concerned about the eternal nature of your being then. Then you knew that you would continually be expanding and evolving. And in fact, you knew so clearly that this environment of contrast would be the environment which would cause you to focus new desire. And you were so excited about that. You knew that there would always be a future full of potential desires that in the present are currently unfulfilled. In fact, that's how you felt as non-physical energy reaching into the physical. You are not some perfect, complete consciousness that said, I'll go forth for what possible reason? We are all incomplete, eternally evolving consciousness. And you're so excited about this leading edge environment because you knew that the variety that would be surrounding you and enveloping you would be the contrasting environment which would produce the new desire within you. And you knew the new desire within you would be the leading edge of thought. And you knew that as that new desire is born, that source would match it immediately. Jerry and Esther have navigational systems in their vehicles which operate on the same principle. Magellan knows where they are at all times. They've got antennas on the roof and computer contraptions inside the vehicles. And there are satellites in the sky that are triangulating their position at all times. So Magellan knows where they are. Jerry and Esther then program in their desired destination. So those 2 points of relativity are within the system. And now Magellan calculates the route. Proceed to the highlighted route, Magellan says. And when they do, Magellan is happy as can be. But if they take an exit that is unplanned, Magellan says, actually not all that politely, please return to the highlighted route. Please proceed to the highlighted route. Get back out on the road where you belong. Because Magellan has ascertained that according to the calculations that have been defined, they are not on the path. And while they are certainly free to do it, given those 2 vibrational points of relativity, Magellan is just letting them know. She doesn't shut their vehicle down. She doesn't have that power or interest. It's a woman's voice. The man's voice was too bossy. And even at this, sometimes Jerry says, shut that broad up. I can't. So these vibrational points of relativity, we want you to get a sense of them because your emotional guidance system is the same. When you have, through what you are living, defined what you want to live, and you can't stop doing that, you know. Whether you speak it in words or whether you just radiate it vibrationally, your future is full of all kinds of knowledge of that which you desire to become based upon what you've been living. In other words, when someone's not nice to you, you launch a rocket that you'd like to be treated better. When you don't treat someone nicely, you launch a rocket that you'd like to treat people more nicely. When you don't have enough money, you launch a rocket that says, I'd like more money. When it's raining, you launch a rocket that says you'd like to rendezvous with better weather. When your car isn't running well, you launch a rocket that says, I prefer a more reliable, better looking, better feeling vehicle. In other words, you're launching these preferences endlessly, and your vibrational future, we like to say all of these desires or preferences or interests are being held for you in vibrational escrow, waiting for you to proceed to the highlighted route, waiting for you to become a vibrational match with them. Your emotions are giving you constant feedback about only this. Only constant feedback, which is all you ever need. We want so much for you to leave here today really getting this. feedback about your own personal vibrational relativity. When people say, I'm balancing my energy, that must be what they mean, because that can be the only balancing of energy that could ever possibly take place. It's the balancing of energy within you. You cannot factor in what everybody or anybody else thinks about all of these things. When you try to factor in what this faction of society thinks, or what this faction of society thinks, or what your mother thinks, or what somebody else thinks, or what somebody thought who was living in a different time and sort of wrote it down sort of way after the fact and then buried it for you to dig up and try to live your life according to it. You cannot factor all of that stuff in. You are leading edge creators. You came forth into this time-space reality as the perfection of source energy that you are, wanting a new experience. You were never and will never be complete, but you will always, from your vantage point, be able to launch a new preference which you have the potential of coming into vibrational alignment with. And when you do, you feel so good. That feels like joy. That feels like bliss. That feels like love. That feels like appreciation. That feels like, ooh, this is interesting. That feels like passion. It feels like vitality. It feels like life in the fullest sense of the word. But when you feel angry or frustrated or worried or fearful or depressed, those emotions, or any emotion that doesn't feel wonderful, is an indication that you are activating right now, by virtue of something that you're giving your attention to, a vibration that is sorely out of alignment with this vibrational escrow which you have launched and source is in agreement with. When we say to you, when you ask, it is given every single time, that's what we're talking about. You ask, you launch the rocket, source joins you in that. And circumstances and events are lined up immediately for the fulfilling of anything that you could even imagine. You are powerful creators. But you are also, in your human form, bless your hearts, and we mean this sincerely, you are very attracted, enamored, infatuated. You're crazy is what we're really trying to say to you, because you give almost your undivided attention to what is happening right now. So your now has caused you to fill your future full of all kinds of improved things, which Source agrees with and has put all of the resources of the universe behind to support you. And here you are talking about what is instead of what you prefer. Most of the attention that most humans are offering, and therefore most of the vibration that you are radiating, is about what's happening rather than upon what you would like to happen. And if you could just change that one habit and talk about where you're going instead of where you are, you'd go there. But as long as you're talking about where you are, you're offering a vibration that's about that, and Source is delivering to you everything you want, but you're vibrationally out of sync with it. And so you say, Abraham must be wrong. When I ask, it isn't given. If that were true, where's my stuff? Where is my stuff? And we say it's in vibrational escrow, just waiting for you to fulfill the requirement, which is simply become a match to what you're asking for. So you say, well, how can I be a vibrational match to more money when I don't have enough? We say, well, first of all, stop telling us or anyone that you don't have enough. Start talking about what it will be like or what it would be like when you have more money. Well, I can't talk about that because I've never had that experience. I've never had the kind of money that I want. Well, if you keep saying that, you'll never get the kind of money that you want. You've got to find somehow, some way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. You cannot continue to look at what is and activate what is and achieve a different vibration. It's just not going to happen. You know, when you think about vibrational things like radios and televisions and cell phones, you know that your frequencies have to match up for there to be any reception, don't you? You can't set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. You have to set your receiver to match the signal of the broadcaster. So you've launched the rocket, Source agrees, and is broadcasting to the boundaries of the universe this fulfillment of this desire. Did you hear that? You built this preference One moment at a time. Something happened, you launched a preference. Something else happened, you launched a preference. Something else happened, you launched a preference. So your future reality is full of a combination of all of the things that your contrasting experience has helped you to hone into perfection through preferences, through experience, through desires. And there it sits for you, just pulsing and waiting for you to set your tuner to the same frequency. That's all it takes.